I've always been really inspired by the natural world. I love to draw on experiences I've actually had, places I've really been to, or objects that I can kind of pick up and have a look at, pick up and hold, and take back to my studio. Because of this, working from what I know, I love to come out on walks into nature, all kinds of different environments. I'm lucky to live in Herefordshire. I've got woodland, farmland, some beautiful rivers. So when I can, I visit these places, I pick up objects, and from there I can make my sketches and I can begin to formulate my pieces. This is my second year as artist in residence, and it's something I really like to do because when I've been working at home over long periods on my very detailed work, you sometimes question to yourself whether it's going to go down well with the public. So to come to somewhere like Nature and Art, to show your work off to people and to be able to talk about it with them, hear all their interpretations, that's really great for me. And Nature and Art, it's somewhere I've been coming to since I was about 8 years old. So I've grown up with this museum full of role models, full of artists who I really admire. And so to be able to be a part of that now myself as an artist, that's a really great feeling for me. So I've been coming to Nature and Art for years, and one of my favourite things about every visit here is going to see the artist in residence. And I remember when I was about 9 or 10, we would come, and it was Gary Hodges who was in residence at that time, and he's a wonderful pencil artist. He draws all kinds of animals. I especially love his big cats, and it was the textures and the details that he could put into his drawings that really inspired me as an 8-year-old kid who was just kind of starting out on my first scribbles of animal portraits. And from that moment on, every time I come here, I always go to talk to the artist in residence, see what they're doing, and I've been inspired in so many ways. So when I come back today as artist in residence myself, I would love to think that when the school groups come round, if I can show them something of my work that makes them think, oh, I'll keep drawing, you know, it's worth giving it a go, then that would make me really, really proud. So this piece I'm working on now is a bit different to some of my usual work, which is kind of tied to reality. Although this piece, I'm drawing my natural forms very realistically, compositionally, I've kind of created what I like to call a conglomeration of natural forms. The idea with this is to celebrate the variety of life, the variety of natural forms. And so you have this kind of, I guess, almost angelic, almost alien collection of natural forms floating in the middle of this piece. And behind it, I'm just beginning now to draw in this background of the universe coming in at the bottom, a moonlit sky at the top. And so the concept for this is really my appreciation and my awe in relation to life in the possibly infinite darkness of the universe. So I start a piece like this with a really, really loose sketch, just the fundamental lines really. And often in my sketch I'm kind of playing with ideas. I don't exactly know how the finished drawing's going to look, but once I start to put it onto the paper, it can grow quite organically. So with this one I did start with the shape of the skull, and out of that grew the feathers, the mushrooms, and then the animals came along as I found them, as I photographed them, and as I was able to have some of them in my studio. I worked from those. I work in a very detailed manner. My sketching's absolutely awful to look at really, because every time I start a sketch I just want to take it straight to detail. So my first sketches for this are very, very loose. They wouldn't make much sense to anyone other than me, but that's all I need to get me started on a big detailed piece like this one. So I use a full range of pencils. Derwent Graphic work well for me. I go from the 8B pencil right up to the hard 7H. and I find that really helps me get a very wide range of tones. One of my first and most important inspirations in my life is my dad. You can see some of his work back here. I'm especially lucky this year to be sharing my residency with my dad, Roger Brookes. He's a fish carver, so he's a sculptor. I'm more two-dimensional, but I definitely think creativity runs in the family to some extent. I'm quite glad I've found my own kind of path. I don't feel like I'm stealing his work away from him or trying to get in on what he does. But as a kid going to his workshop, he always encouraged us to be really creative, to pick things up, use the tools, learn how to play and learn how to try new things. And so to see somebody like him making a living as an artist was a great inspiration to me. And he still is today. He's so supportive of what I do. So I'm very lucky to have grown up around my dad.
Yeah, I remember when she was, just when she was very small, picking up a piece of paper within my carving studio and drawing a creature that caught her imagination. And I could see straight away that she had an affinity with the subject as well as the medium that she was working in. I could see these images coming together, not necessarily easily, but with it was the perception that was behind them that was important. That was when she was very little, and now that she's 20-something, that has evolved into a real gift and a tremendous ability to render, particularly in a graphic, black and white medium which she likes, wildlife of all different varieties.
Being at Nature and Art is really great. The environment here is perfect as a studio. I mean, the light you get coming down through the windows in this room, it's better light than I have in my studio at home. So it's great to spend time here. And walking around the gallery, you get to meet the staff. And they come and visit me in here all the time, you know. My second year now, so I see friends that I've made in the staff, and they're so supportive, and everyone's so into art as well. And that's what really makes this place feel like a second home for me in terms of my life as an artist.